Hi everyone, my name is Nuraiym and today we're going to talk about the role of media and public opinion in foreign policy. So let's start with our review. So today we're going to talk about public opinion and foreign policy, media and foreign policy, procedural versus substantive criticism and influence, media, public opinion and theoretical perspectives, and the last one is new technology and the war on terror. So the first subtopic is public opinion, media, and foreign policy. So first of all, not traditionally a lot of focus on media and public opinion in international relations, more focus on foreign policy, but even here not traditionally a lot of focus. Foreign policy has tended to look at the role of media through impact of societal groups on decision making, and understanding foreign policy processes at the international level requires analysis of state level influence on foreign policy decisions. There are two models for understanding the role of media, and the first model is pluralist model. No one group or set of interests can dominate. Media and public are independent from political influence and can act as a constraint on government, and assumes that power is dispersed throughout society. The next model is elite model. Power concentrated within elite groups able to dominate politics. Media, public opinion, subservient to political elites. Media only a mouthpiece for government. In this view, media isn't really independent and instead works more to mobilize public support for government policies. Public opinion and foreign policy. In a democracy, we expect that the pluralist model should be true. A government is supposed to be responsive to public opinion. Challenge is that we see differing views of the public, attentive, mass, non-attitudes, and irrational. Clashing ideas about ability of public opinion to influence foreign policy. Public opinion and media. Pluralist. Public opinion is independent of government and the media. Media is objective and public capable of forming an independent opinion. But elite say that public opinion and media either irrelevant to policymakers or a pre-established audience for policymakers. Media are central to the public opinion foreign policy nexus. Next one is media and foreign policy. Within democratic states, the media is supposed to facilitate a full and open debate on important issues within the public sphere. The news media includes television news, current affairs programming, newspapers, online media, a little bit outside traditional model, and acts as watchdog, agenda setter, new index, and etc. Conversely, tend to think of the elite model applying more to authoritarian governments. Media is controlled by the state. Media acts as mouthpiece for the state, almost more propaganda rather than news. What is the impact of media? So, President Nixon wrote that more than ever before, television showed the terrible human suffering and sacrifice of war. The result was a serious demoralization of the home front, raising the question of whether America would ever again be able to fight an enemy abroad with unity and strength of purpose at home. The Vietnam effect. The Vietnam War seen by many as key turning point in United States in understanding the impact of media on foreign policy. Start to see new arguments and research on the impact of the media on policy development. So here the photo of children flipping napalm. The photograph taken by Vetman in June 1972. And there is another picture of execution of an alleged Viet Cong prisoner. This photo taken by A.D. Adams. So here we see the spheres of consensus. controversy, and defiance. Indexing, priming, and framing. Indexing media follow elites both in terms of framing issues and setting the news agenda, don't set out on their own. Priming ability of media to prepare and direct public to the issues on which they should judge their leaders. Framing, the way information is presented, influences how public perceives specific issues. Korean Airlines, we see Iranian Airlines being shut down. Procedural versus substantive criticism and influence. So, first, procedural criticism and influence. It describes media criticism and influence that relates to debates over the implementation of policy decision, and the substantive criticism and influence describes criticism and influence that relates to the underlying justifications and rationale for particular foreign policies. Find that mainstream media criticism tends to be more at procedural level rather than the challenging the underlying justifications for policy choices. Media, public opinion, and theoretical frames. The relationship among public opinion, media, and foreign policy can be integrated with major international relations schools of thoughts such as realism, liberalism, and critical approach. New technology and the war on terror have seen rise in new form of communication technology, internet and global media, such as CNN or Al Jazeera. We would expect that this would make states unable to support bad news. Critical question: whether peoples of the world have become any more or any less informed about global affairs. The war on terror. For liberals, the appearance of new issues such as the war on terror challenge their claims for the existence of a more adversarial and independent post-Cold War media. For realists and critical approaches, the war on terror and its impact upon media autonomy and public perception of global affairs confirms subservience of both to broader political and economic forces. So, at the conclusion, has important influence on public opinion and foreign policy. Has media important influence on public opinion and foreign policy? So, media can be seen as democratic force holding state accountable, pluralist, or mouthpiece for the state, mobilizing the public to its cause, such as elite. New technology has potential to make it harder to states to control message, but verdicts still out. Thank you for everyone for watching this video. See you next time.